Am I the asshole for not telling my wife that I had surgery 30 plus years ago? I, 37M, was born with umbilical hernia, like a bulge or lump type thing where the belly button is, and got surgery on it when I was 4. So besides my immediate family and some preschool kids who could be anywhere in the world right now, no one really knows about that. I was clearing out my end table. I found old baby pictures that I didn't even know I had. My mom was a 90s Facebook mom when it came to pictures, and I put most of them in a pile. When my wife came to the room and saw them, her first question was what the fuck that lump on my stomach was, and I told her it was the umbilical hernia thing. Her follow-up question was how it went away, and I told her I had surgery on it. Her mood changed, and she started asking a lot of why questions. Like, why didn't you tell me you had this? Or, why didn't you tell me you had this? And my answers were A. How would I bring that up, and B. My medical history is my business and my business only. She got pretty mad at that second one, and ended the discussion there. Now over this stupid argument she's been trying really hard to give me the cold shoulder. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. That surgery affects her in no way, shape or form. It's not a case of withholding information about a chronic degenerative health issue that will cost you thousands of dollars, will require rearranging her life plan and will turn her into your caretaker. That's something a long-term partner should know. She did not need to know about this sort of issue any more than she needs to know every time you had a temperature, broke a bone or twisted your ankle in your life. ETA. Some stats to put things in perspective. Up to 1 in 5 newborns will present an umbilical hernia and 90% of the cases resolve on their own by the time the child is 4 or 5 years old. So even though genetics can increase the incidence, the condition is too common and generally benign. Not the asshole. Surgery at age 4 for an umbilical hernia is hardly a deep, dark secret needing disclosure. It's not like it's ongoing or affecting your relationship now. It feels like an overreaction on her part to expect you to have mentioned it. A. How would I bring that up? True. Not the asshole on this alone. You are 4 and probably do remember a thing. B. My medical history is my business and my business only. False. You are married, and if you are incapacitated she has to be able to answer medical questions of your behalf. You two have a duty to each other to set each other up for success, and that means sharing detailed medical information. You don't really believe it's none of her business. She just put you on the spot. DHD treated you with suspicion. Use this conversation as a launching point to take care of your health and hers and share detailed medical info. Also, now is a great time to get detailed family medical history before family members start dying. I've been married almost 25 years to my husband and still find out random things, injuries, jobs, etc. It's not something to get angry about, so maybe explore with her the root of that issue. Everyone sucks here, so close to NTA, except there's this. B. My medical history is my business and my business only. Your legal spouse should know about your medical history, as in case of any emergencies she's the one the doctors are going to ask, most likely. This particular instance may be inconsequential to any future issues, but as a principle, your medical history stops becoming your business only when you get married. And if you said it like this, I can understand why your wife got mad. B. My medical history is my business and my business only. She got pretty mad at that second one. I mean, she is your wife. I get that there's never been a reason to bring it up, but that second argument you put forward just makes it sound like there's more you've not told her and don't want to tell her. Am I the asshole for not paying for a painting I asked my friend to do? My 27 female friend, Jordan, 28 female, is a wonderful artist. I love her work, so I told her that if she ever considered doing commission pieces, I wanted to be her first customer. She said okay, and I sent her a picture of my dad who passed away as a reference. I wanted to give this painting to my mom as a gift. This was back in early 2018. Jordan said she would start on it when she could, but that she was busy. I just thought she did not want to do any commission work yet and just left it at that. A few weeks after our conversation, Jordan posted on social media saying that she was open to do commission pieces and posted how she would charge for those pieces. I messaged her again and she said that she got my order and was starting the piece for me. Per her post, I assumed the piece would be around $200. She also said she was charging her clients around that much, so I should expect to pay about the same. She said she didn't want me to pay until after she was done, so I didn't. For the last 6 years, she would post the other commission pieces she had done. When I asked about mine, she would say she's working on it but she hasn't had the time to finish it. She often lost her job, was looking for a new place to stay, etc. I understood that times could be hard, so I waited. The reason I didn't just stop asking her was because she would sometimes send me Snapchats sneak peeks, of the painting, so I knew she was working on it little by little. Well, flash forward to last weekend, she finally gave it to me. It is a beautiful painting of my dad and I cried looking at it. She then told me it was $700. I was not prepared to pay that much. I told her that when she started doing commissions, she was charging her clients $200, $300. She responded saying that she realized her work was worth more, and also the cost of supplies had gone up since then, plus the amount of time spent working on it. I thought it was unfair to charge me so much given I waited years for this painting. Also within the last 6 years, I had gotten married, bought a house, and have 2 young children. I do not just have $700 to spare on this painting. She told me that it isn't her fault that I can't afford it and refused to give it to me until I could pay her. I told her to just keep it since I didn't not have the money for it. She called me a jerk for wasting her time on this and left. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. She took 6 years to finish it and yet raised the price hundreds of dollars? She took advantage of your friendship. In my opinion, you aren't the jerk here. I was so ready to vote the other way based on the title, but you are absolutely not the asshole. The second, and I mean the second, she decided that her work was worth more, she should have contacted you and discussed the particulars. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. I'm all for artists and creatives being paid fairly, but I feel like Jordan should have said her new price to you, and the price is fine, and checked you could pay that before she went ahead. Not the asshole. My wife is an artist who often takes commissions. She sets prices and timelines before she starts actually working on a piece, because that's what professionals do. Not the asshole. I mean, if you want to go the actual business way. 6 years delay? I would tell her that sure, $700 and then you will deduct $100 a year of delay? So $100? This is in all seriousness a lose-lose situation. You want the painting but it's worthless to her because it's of your dad, so it's very specific and would be hard to sell to other people, I'm guessing. Either try to talk reason with her or just live with having to pay that. If you want to be petty, say that you can pay her $200 now and then the rest over time and then wait 6 years to pay the rest. Edit. Lose changed to lose because words and stuff. Not the asshole. Per her post, she was charging her clients around $200, and she said op should expect to pay the same. You can't upcharge an extra $500 without communication. Hey, I'm getting close to finishing, but with inflation, my costs alone are X amount. I'm going to need to charge Y amount would have gone a long way. The sticker shock alone is a big issue, not to mention waiting 6 years. She commissioned the price when the friend was an amateur expecting amateur pricing. Friend is now beyond that, but she still accepted the commission at amateur prices. Selling at advanced prices after 6 years is shady. 6 years is a long time when op has seen other work posted. Edit for spelling errors. Am I the asshole for kicking my sister out of my wedding because she did not follow the color scheme? When I 25F was 9, my parents adopted my sister, Jen, who was 7 at the time. Jen was thin and fearful due to being neglected. We did everything to make her feel loved. We bought her lots of toys. Everything Jen wanted, she got. When my parents asked me to move to the smaller bedroom so Jen could have my room, I was happy to. When they asked if I would let Jen pick the decorations and cake for my upcoming birthday, I agreed. I was so happy to have a sister, and I understood why my parents gave her special treatment. Only the treatment didn't stop. For years, every trip we went on, we had to do what Jen wanted to do. We had to eat where she wanted to eat. And she got to plan all my birthday parties. If she didn't get what she wanted, she threw a tantrum. I still felt loved and cared for by my parents. They drove me to practices, bought me things, cooked meals for me, spent quality time and gave me advice, but I was always second to Jen. As I got older, I did anything I could to leave the house. I got my first job when I was 12. I vacationed with friends instead of family. I played 3 different sports and did band. I took my driver's test the day I turned 16 and bought a car the day after. I went to college on the other side of the country.
Now that I make good money, I do things I missed as a child.
I take fancy vacations and throw elaborate parties as I please. My wedding was no exception. My fiancé, Kip, and I wanted everything to be perfect. We thought it would be fun to have a color scheme.
My favorite color is yellow, and his is blue. So my guests would wear yellow, his would wear blue, and mutual friends would wear green.
I picked out a dress with green embroidered details, and he picked a boutonniere with green flowers. When Jen found out about this, she was mad. I didn't know this, but she hates yellow and it washes her out. She told me under no circumstances would she wear yellow. I shrugged and said that was fine, I would just kick her out if she did not wear yellow. There was no further discussion, but on my wedding day Jen came in a purple dress.
I told her to leave immediately.
The color scheme was perfect and she ruined it. Jen refused to leave until I threatened to call security.
The rest of the wedding went smoothly, but afterwards my parents were furious with me for kicking Jen out.
I told them that I warned her she would be kicked out if she didn't follow the color scheme, but they said they all thought it was a joke. They said it was cruel of me to kick my sister out over something so trivial. I told them this was my wedding that I threw without their support, so I can kick out whoever I want to. Kip came rushing to defend me and even told my parents they should be ashamed of how they treated me, but over the past few days, a lot of people I've talked to, grandparents, aunts, uncles, friends, have been mixed. Some say they wouldn't have even invited Jen if they were me, while others think I should have let it slide. Am I the asshole?
Edit. Contest mode is over and I can finally edit. I want to make a few things clear. 1. I figured people would assume this, but I did not ask my guests to dress head to toe in their assigned color. I completely understand that people might not have yellow formal wear laying around. I said to dress in only neutral colors and or your assigned color, so someone could wear a black dress and yellow jewelry, a black suit and a yellow tie, etc., but no colors outside neutral or your assigned color. 3. I invited Jen because she is family, and I honestly thought she was more mature than this. I did not know she hated the color yellow when I chose the color scheme. Not the asshole. The question here isn't whether or not a color scheme is stupid. It very well could be, but it's also becoming the norm. And frankly, if you don't like it, you don't have to attend the event. But what you don't get to do is say a color scheme is stupid, so I'll make up my own rules and force the couple being married to let me in. Jen was stupid here. You did the right thing in kicking her out. Her feelings, that she can dictate the rules for your wedding, aren't any worse than you having those rules in place. In short, fuck Jen. She got what she wanted in the end. Not the asshole. I have been to weddings where the bride and groom wanted a color scheme. To date, I have not known of anyone who had such a problem that they showed up in a different color just for spite. Because make no mistake about it, that is exactly why your sister showed up in purple, pure spite. If the color yellow was really the problem, she could have asked to wear blue. Instead, she showed up in purple with the express intention of upstaging the bride and groom and causing a scene, knowing all the time that your parents would back her up. Your parents have been shitty to you ever since your sister showed up. Time to call them and your sister out for their obnoxious behavior and blatant favoritism. Info. Why was she even invited to your wedding? You apparently have every reason in the world to resent how you always were treated more poorly than she. Unsympathetic to your story. It's a bit surprising that you'd want her anywhere near the event. I'm not a fan of overly themed weddings with what to wear instructions, but on the other hand I have heard way worse. There are 80 billion shades of yellow and blue, so it's no big deal. And really, if anyone had a serious objection to it, they just politely could bow out of it. That said, what your sister did was an obvious play at upstaging you, just like she always has done. Not the asshole because you were standing up for yourself. But, if you actually try to continue to maintain a relationship with her, be super clear about your boundaries to her and your parents. She could continue to make waves, especially now that she knows you'll stand up to her. IDK. Why there are so many YTs? Because to me this is like the same as having a themed wedding and wanting everyone to dress up with you. Example, I've known couples to have Star Wars themed weddings and have their guests also dress up. So if someone didn't want to follow the theme, then they shouldn't go to the wedding.
So not the asshole in my opinion.
Not sure why there's so many YTAs. The question was if you were the asshole for kicking your sister out for not following the color scheme. Not if you were the asshole for having a color scheme for your wedding.
Not the asshole she didn't follow the rules, so bye-bye hand-waving. Am I the asshole for being ungrateful to my sister-in-law after she threw us our gender reveal?
I, 30F, and husband, 32M, have been trying for a baby for 8 years now. After 3 failed IVFs, 2 miscarriages and many doctor's appointments later, we are finally pregnant with our rainbow baby. We are so grateful yet cautiously optimistic. I have always been super close to my in-laws and have never had any issues with them. In fact, they have been like a second family to me.
Especially my sister-in-law, 35F. She has been there for us through this infertility journey more than anyone else we know.
And, as you can imagine, has been wanting to celebrate this time with us.
She begged us to do the gender reveal and we told her several times that we want to keep it intimate and just immediate family.
We weren't ready to announce our news to anyone just yet because I suffer from anxiety and PTSD from our previous losses. Our gender reveal day came and despite our clear requests for it to be just family, she invited some of her friends, and friends of the family and her husband's family.
I was visibly upset and tried to hold it together until after the gender reveal to cry it out because I didn't want to cause a scene. I felt like I couldn't even enjoy my own gender reveal. I told my husband the way I felt and he agreed that we should confront her about it. When we did, she took it very personally and felt we were being ungrateful and unfair. She said she had put a lot of thought into our gender reveal and just wanted us to feel celebrated after all these years. She thought, the more people the merrier. I told her we are grateful, it's just that we had only one request that she completely disregarded and that she has to understand how this could have upset us. But she insisted that we were being too much, and even rude, for coming at her, instead of thanking her. So am I the asshole for being unappreciative and upset, or is she for not respecting my boundaries? Edit to clarify. 1. Sister-in-law has kids. 2. She didn't post anything on socials. 3. My family was invited and present. Husband's friend was also invited but he was out of town and couldn't make it. I didn't announce to my friends yet and majority of them have moved out of state for grad school or job opportunities, so that is the reason they weren't present. 4. I have hung out with her friends and her in-laws before and I think that's why she justified inviting them. Still didn't want them there lol. Not the asshole. She is extremely disrespectful to you and your husband. She's making it all about her.
I wonder if she's jealous of you in a way, feeling like she should always be the center of attention but you tend to be as a result of your challenges in trying to conceive, not that you want to be. She likely volunteered to throw a gender reveal party in order to be at its center and to bask in the glow of the event.
It was really her party for herself with you as the excuse. So your wants and needs didn't matter to her. She is an enormous asshole and you may want to go no contact with her at least until you have a successful delivery. I wish you and your husband the best. Not the asshole.
Why the hell did she invite her friends? What's wrong with her?
Not the asshole. I can't even understand how people disregard the only request.
It's like you had one job. Especially in your situation.
I'm so sorry she did that.
No, you are not ungrateful. You are rightfully sad, disappointed, pissed.
She was inconsiderate and kinda selfish, an event that is not about her.
Grateful for what? Her throwing a party that she wanted to host, on her terms, the way she wanted to have it, and pretending it was a party for you, while disregarding your expressed wishes? Including her friends on the guest list is a key indicator this is exactly what her motives were, because her friends weren't there to support the expecting parents, they were there to provide kudos feedback to Sil.
Nope. You don't have to be grateful for someone using you as a tool for their personal objectives. Not the asshole. Not the asshole, you were clear about your boundaries, concerns and she chose to not respect them. Not the asshole.
Tell her to imagine, for a moment, what it felt like for you and your husband to inform people of your miscarriages and the failed IVF. How awful that felt, on top of your grief. That is why you wanted a very small gathering.
She disregarded your clearly expressed wishes, that were based on trauma, and then got upset that you didn't like it.
Ask her to explain to you how that makes you ungrateful, when she did what you expressly asked her not to. Because she did what you asked her not to do, you did not enjoy the gender reveal. Why ever would you feel grateful for that?